You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV Survivor After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV Survivor After Show.
No one will trust him.
But at this point, I don't think he cares.
Yeah. He
He's
gets to
doing
the
fine.
final, but he'll never win.
Yeah.
Unless you can start like physically taking someone out, physically take them out.
Survivor like
MMA.
Extreme,
Yeah.
season 40.
Yeah, exactly.
It turns into like the Hunger Games.
Exactly, Super Survivor. It's like, okay, machetes are in.
Super Survivor. That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one I want to play.
Well, luckily, I mean, I hope things turn around, but I don't see Jeff Probst's talk show being on the air forever.
Oh.
It's a little dogs. It's trying to catch its footing. You guys aren't allowed to comment on that. I know. I'm just a fan. I'm allowed to.
I love you, Jeff.
But as a fan of Survivor, though, that bodes well for Survivor.
No.
Because I was afraid he was going to get this talk show. It was going to blow up, and then he's going to peace out on Survivor, and it's going to go by the wayside.
I won't complain if his show doesn't go right because I like him on Survivor.
And he's got it's not a bad backup gig.
Oh.
I mean, Survivor.
He can do whatever he wants.
He's genius on Survivor.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't imagine anybody else ever hosting the show.
No.
Oh,
No,
what
I
he
can't
does
either.
at Tribal Council is amazing.
Yeah.
Like when you see it live, it's even more amazing because I always thought he had some kind of earpiece or something to tell him like what questions to ask or not. He goes from one question to the next to the next, and it's like he knows exactly what to ask, when to ask it, and
He's
it's
just
just
a
right
really
off the
great
top of his
listener.
head.
Yeah.
It's
In all fairness,
crazy.
I think that's his genius. That's what's so great about Jeff Probst, and that's why I think the talk show format it's not his fault. It just doesn't work for him. That structure doesn't work as well for him. I can't hear myself anymore, but that structure doesn't work quite as well for him. I feel like he needs to be on the fly in his element, and nobody does it better.
Yeah,
I really-
Yeah, he
Well, I
knows.
mean,
He's a lot on the fly in his show, but
he's been different though in the beginning of Survivor, how he was,
Yeah.
and then you see him now in Tribal Council. He's a little like pushy, like he's like.
Well, he's got a little
okay.
swagger now. He knows that
Yeah.
Survivor is his show.
Yeah.
He's made it what it is, and he's got that freedom gives him the ability to just do what he wants and ask the questions that we really want to know. Because if it weren't for a lot of his questions, especially in Tribal and some of his comments in the actual challenges, the show would be a little bit flat. I mean, he really makes it kind of exciting when he calls people out for a bad hit or a bad play in one of the challenges, or if he calls people out for their shit in Tribal Council. That makes it really interesting.
Yeah.
He could just sit there and just, well, what do you think? Your head's on the
He's
chopping
amazing.
block tonight. How do you feel? He doesn't ask those questions. He
No,
asks the
no.
questions you really want to know.
Has there been talk about a hidden immunity idol? Like, jeez, you're gonna just blow it right here. Sometimes he asks, I think, too much.
Yeah.
If you're playing a game and it's like
You're like,
sometimes
yo,
you're like, don't
Jeff.
don't ask me that question.
But that's
Jeff.
another way.
You're giving away my game.
Another
Exactly.
interesting way that the game has evolved, though, is that he does ask more questions, and you have to. That plays into your game now. You have to be aware that you could get called out by him, and if you do, again, you have to adapt.
because he starts to give away a little bit more than he did in the past. for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely does.
absolutely.
But he's amazing because tribal councils sometimes go for a couple of hours. So this is a couple hours of questions that he's going
Several
from one
hours.
to the next to the next to the next and going back and forth
fun.
and keeping track of it all.
Do you ever just try to not make eye contact, thinking maybe he won't ask you questions if you don't want him to?
Yeah, no, because I remember sitting there like, okay, no eye contact, just like kind of nod to other people or whatever. And sure enough, you're going to get the question.
Try to blend in, and it doesn't work.
No.
That's funny.
Yeah, he
So-
yells at you for being quiet.
This is one of those iconic episodes we always look forward to every season, the Loved Ones episode.
good.
So at the top of the episode, Jeff Probst announces that they're going to be paired up, and that they're going to be paired up with people from back home. We see Abby's mom comes out, who doesn't speak a word of English, which I thought was really interesting. She's also a little bit portly. I'm not sure if that'd be my first choice of
Global.
somebody to compete with. Yeah.
Portly.
Yeah.
Just being nice.
Yeah, I guess.
I missed the mom coming out. I was getting my pizzas.
Oh, you were getting your pizzas. This guy, just so you guys know, he's been watching this show for 25 seasons, and
Not every Thursday.
almost
Two
every Wednesday now, but almost every
Ugh.
Survivor night he orders 2 medium Domino's pizzas and eats
Delicious.
them. And he orders like peppers
Delicious.
and pineapples.
It's
Weird.
Pepper and pineapple. That is
But
an odd-
when Lisa's
When her brother. Yeah, you almost said son because he's
son-
20
no,
years
he's
younger
just
than
20
her.
years- I wonder. I don't know. Is it
Yeah.
a step brother or something? But
Yeah.
that was one of the most emotional loved one visits we've ever seen in the show. Because clearly Lisa's an emotional wreck at this point in the game. So it was, I teared up a little bit.
Troyzan even mentioned that
teared
Jeff
up.
Probst looked like he was.
Yeah,
I
no,
definitely
Jeff
teared
looked
up.
like he got a little sad. I could see it in his eyes, and he doesn't get sad at anything. And I thought, and it probably lasted a lot longer than what we saw. I mean, she looked like she was probably holding that guy for a good 15
Yeah.
minutes. Like she just was frozen into time.
And
just like,
almost hyper
and just looking to
ventilating.
the sky, looking to God, obviously, because it's Lisa.
The interesting thing about Lisa, though, and I do want to talk about this a little bit because religion does come into this episode a bit, and I'm not a terribly religious person. I went to a Catholic school growing up, but I'm a spiritual person. The way that she brought religion into the episode didn't offend me. And sometimes I get offended. A couple seasons back when it was like prayer circles all the time and Coach was a little bit in your face, I don't really like that. Because no matter what your beliefs are, I feel like they should be yours and you should respect everyone else. And I actually felt like while she was talking to God and doing her prayers, she was still respectful. And I was like, I think it speaks to like how lovable she actually is. And for Jeff Probst to get a little bit emotional watching her interaction with her brother, I think that speaks to how likable she is too. He's seen everything, and we actually have another caller.
Wow.
2 callers in one night. Hey, this is AJ. Who do we have on the line?
Lisa's brother.
What? Oh, I thought that was the voice.
Who am I speaking with?
Hello?
Did we lose our caller?
Oh.
Caller, talk. Hello?
Technical difficulty.
I don't know what happened. They're
Nothing
still on
like-
the line, but they're not answering.
Nothing like maybe they just want to
Maybe
listen
they
to
will.
us.
Going off
over
of
the phone.
what you were
Stage
saying
fright.
about religion and Lisa, I agree that there was a certain point she didn't go saying, like, in Coach's season where God's will be what happened,
getting
and
to the
that
prayer
will
circle.
decide what happens in the game. I still believe, though, however, God has no invested interest in Survivor.
I know, but she said that as
agree.
well.
I agree.
But she did say that too, and that's exactly how I feel.
Somewhat,
I'm like,
but it's like,
I just want to
still-
say it's like when anybody prays for a sports team or a
Yeah,
reality show.
she
God,
did say that.
God doesn't give a shit about
Yeah.
Survivor. He just doesn't.
No.
But
Can we put that on
yeah,
a
God
shirt?
doesn't give a
There's
shit about
bigger
Survivor.
issues in the world than
Of
who's
course.
going to win Survivor.
But she even said that, and she said, "Well, if it doesn't work out, if he so sees fit for Abby to win, then so be it."
So
You know,
you're-
I hope that our
But he's
plan
not
works
seeing
out.
fit. He's not deciding who wins.
God does not decide who's going to win in
Yes.
Survivor, but it definitely gives you faith on where you're at, because especially
Yeah.
if people are bullying you and you feel like you're starving and there's no will to live because like everyone is just like kind of diminishing in front of you, you think of God, but definitely doesn't think about it because mainly the game has a lot to do with luck. I think. I mean, there's a
absolutely,
lot,
there's a lot of
things.
luck involved.
I mean, this has got to be a hard episode for you to watch because the loved one.
Oh yeah,
you
that's
weren't
brutal.
even
I
there.
can't- Yeah, no, that's because I missed the loved ones. I missed my
Ugh.
brother Todd by a day.
Oh,
He
really?
was on Samoa, so I was
my
like,
gosh.
it's always hard to watch. I mean, I rewatched our season of the
Mm-hmm.
loved ones, and then this. It's the only thing that I can say that my Survivor experience was fantastic. I mean, everything. I mean, even like if you watch like the final episodes where we get to speak, like, you know, and how our season was. I'm like, I loved everything about it. One thing I wish I would have had, and if I could have seen my brother, I'd have been completely satisfied.
Well, it's always an
100%.
interesting episode because sometimes it's a great thing that a loved one comes out, and sometimes it's really not. In past seasons, I've seen survivors who are their heads in the game, they're going full force, and then
And then they
a
lose
loved
it.
one comes out and they just.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to
Yeah.
see a loved one. As close as I am to my family, I think for me personally, if I were to play the game, I would be very strategic, and I think I'd be very cutthroat out there, and I wouldn't want my loved ones necessarily to see that.
Yeah.
And I feel like seeing them and being reminded of who I am in the real world would kind of pull me out of the game.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Lisa, just on the flip side of
Opposite.
that, she needed her brother.
Yeah, each person is different in that aspect. It's like, you know, some you're gonna get jacked up and you're gonna be okay, I can make it now. I mean, I only got like what 9 days to go or whatever it is. From
And
this point,
we
or
have
maybe less.
Another caller. Who do we have on the line? This is AJ. Who am I
Popular
speaking
night.
with?
Hello, my name's Nicholas Rodin.
Nice to meet you, Nicholas. What you
Hi,
got for
Nicholas.
us?
On your website, it's not the show's not working.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Are you on Studio
Are
B
you
right
on-
now?
Are you looking at
Yeah,
Studio B?
it's like it keeps going to Dancing with the Stars replay.
Dancing with the Stars replay?
No.
Well,
Yeah,
trying to
since
fix
we have
that.
you on the line, do you watch Survivor? Do you have a Survivor question for us?
I hope Malcolm wins. I thought I was my two favorite players were Malcolm and Penner, but Penner got kicked off, and so now I'm rooting for Malcolm.
I think Malcolm's a pretty good bet. He looks like he's
player.
sitting in a good position right now.
Right.
If his final four alliance can make it, I think it's really up for grabs between those four. But we will work on the technical difficulty. I want to thank you so much for calling in, buddy. All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay.
That was Carter in disguise.
He was called it.
Stop.
You're terrible.
Carter.
He's a super fan. Carter. It was Carter.
What I did, going back to Lisa's loved one, Justice was his name, right?
Justice.
I loved that he came in and was like, all right, give me the lowdown in the water alone. Then let's actually get your head back in the game. What are you thinking? You're in the final 6. Screw your word. Do what you need to do to get to the end, and not only get to the end, but win. When he did that, I was like, this is amazing.
And I love,
amazing.
I love when because it's difficult for these loved ones from home to come in and have their head in the game like that quickly, because I mean they're out there essentially in a final 6 situation for one day. One day only, maybe just for minutes or moments, you know, if they get to spend the night or not, who knows. But for him to be able to come out there and do that and just pull her back into the game so quickly, I thought that was genius. I would pick, not based on who I love and miss, I'd pick on who's going to come out here and help me. Because you know there's a challenge involved.
Yeah, it makes total sense too, because if you got a person that's just come in, like if my brother would have came in, he was the kind of guy to be like, come on, man, this is what you're doing. It's like, this is what you're going to do on day one, and now you've changed your mind. Like, no, come on, you're tired and you're this, but this isn't what you want to do. This is exactly what you were telling me you were going to do on day one. Why did you change your mind? You know, so they bring you back to like reality.
And people I know that have played Survivor, they say the key is to have a strategy when you go in, and to be ready to adjust, but to stick to your strategy. Not be so wishy-washy all over the place, because if you're that type of player, I think it reads, and people see that. They see they can't rely on you.
Instantly,
they can't trust you, then...
Yeah, if you're
wishy-washy... You definitely can't wear your heart in the game.
Yeah, if you're all over the place, then no.
You pick that up right away.
Yes. So, this challenge... They have to throw mud balls to their loved ones. Their loved ones then have to actually do the hard part of the challenge and throw the balls after.
Hard is a loose word I would use for this challenge.
Yeah, difficult for some. Abby's mother.
Mud balls.
Yeah, but mud balls. And they have to knock over these posts.
Mud balls.
Hashtag mud balls. We will hashtag that later when we air this episode. That's funny. But Abby's mom can't even catch a ball, let alone throw it. She's afraid of it. They were coming out here. She was like this.
She hasn't been around with balls.
She had a long flight from the Amazon, and I think she's
poor mother.
She's in another world.
Poor mother. But Malcolm ends up pulling away with the win. Malcolm and his brother, his kind of goofy, doofus brother.
I love, and then Malcolm got to pick 2 people. First he picked Lisa, and then he picked Scoopin.
Were you shocked by this?
This was one of the first times in so many seasons that the winner of this challenge actually picked strategically on who they were going to bring with them on this visit. Everyone would think Malcolm's going to pick Denise to be, oh, you're my buddy from day one. But he recognized that let me do this for Scoopin and Lisa because we need to secure them in our final 4. We need to do everything possible. Denise is going to know that I'm doing this for strategic reasons.
And that conversation could have happened between Malcolm and Denise.
It probably definitely happened.
And it goes back to what we've talked about.
Great.
We've talked about this a lot this season, the difference between a girl and a woman playing the game. And in Abby, we see a girl. She's kind of flies by the seat of her pants. She's kind of a hothead. But then we see Denise and Lisa, who are the epitome of women as far as like their strength and the way that they think, their thought process. And they don't play on emotion all the time. They're very, very logical, especially Denise. And if there's anybody out there who you're in an alliance with and you're going to leave behind, Denise is the one to leave behind. She's smart. She's a therapist.
Yeah, she gets
she thinks the way that Malcolm is obviously playing.
Yeah.
And
she's
I
playing
think
right alongside with them. If they're in the final 2, you can guarantee that Denise is going to say every move Malcolm made, I was a part of it. You know, we might not be seeing that on the show.
Oh, you can see the eye contact.
But those
that
2 are in.
They're
just like attached.
It is interesting to see these alliances. These alliances. Is that the plural of alliances? No, between Malcolm and Denise, and then with Lisa and Scoopin, because they're tight. Like for everything I can see as a viewer, they look solid, the 2 of them. So when it gets down to the final 4, it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. Because Lisa even said it tonight, which I found pretty interesting. She said at Tribal, she's like, "Look, there's a chance it comes down to the final 4. I might have to vote for Denise." We all made agreements to the final 4.
Like, oh yeah, I can kind of understand.
And I wouldn't begrudge you that.
It's like, why is everybody so friendly? It's the friendliest. It will be the friendliest final 4 if that's the case.
I think. I think next week Abby becomes the crucial player of the game.
I do too. I think that it won't get dicey at 4. I think it'll get dicey at 5.
Yeah, for
sure. And I think Abby's sitting pretty right now. She doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning the thing, but I think she's a pretty solid final 3.
Definitely.
She became a little more intelligent to me tonight as well.
She's made a
couple.
couple.
Week too.
She's tried to make a couple of moves.
No, I liked. I like what she did. I think she's. I give her more credit than what she's done. Like from in the beginning of this season.
Yeah,
for sure. Like
she was a Nimrod at the beginning of the season.
Too late though. Too late to get votes. And
I mean, even the little seeds that she plants, even though they probably realize like. Abby's full of crap. She doesn't have an idol. What is she saying? But it's just enough. It's just a suggestion, and even if it just plays with their head for 10% of the time or 20%, it's enough. It's something.
And like you said, it's very difficult in this game to change first impressions. We've seen that season after season after season. Even if she makes the final 3, people have made their minds up about her.
That's true.
Nobody's going to vote for her.
That's true.
Nobody.
She's the perfect person to bring to the final 3.
Unless she can really just start crying like crazy.
I would love to see her in a final
just
3.
Bawling. Sincerely bawling.
But that's not going to happen.
I'm just saying it might get to people.
Although it would be interesting to see her on the jury because she is, of all the people who've been voted out and the people who remain, I feel like Abby's the only one I can imagine being super vindictive. RC a little bit, but she's been gone for so long. She's going to be cooled down by then. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see Abby getting fired up at the final questions. I got something for you now. Watch this.
And now
Abby
I have an extra vote.
I have 7 questions.
Abby is now a Russian, apparently.
Whatever. Really I got a bad feeling. I don't even know what it is. My Portuguese is the worst on the planet.
At least you didn't say Spanish. I love it. So, but if you do want to brush up on your Portuguese, I know how you could do so.
Good.
You could go to our website, AfterBuzzTV.com, click on the Amazon banner, take Amazon, get on Amazon, and then
get
you can buy Rosetta Stone Portuguese.
Really?
You can learn how to speak Portuguese, or you could also buy it for your loved ones if you have some holiday shopping to do.
I thought you had some like smoking.
No, you like that? You like
that? Like good, okay.
He's got a Brazilian right
But
over
I do want to take a moment to thank you guys for watching and for listening every single week. And if you do have some holiday shopping to do, if you could do so by logging onto our website first and clicking the Amazon banner, making your purchases that way. It's one extra click. It doesn't take any extra time. Doesn't cost you guys a penny, but it helps us. We get a little kickback from Amazon.
We do.
And it keeps us doing what we do, and we love doing what we do. So please do that for us. We'd really appreciate it, and happy early holidays.
Talking about the loved one visits, the whole promo last week was Malcolm's brother could ruin Malcolm's position in the game. They had a confessional with Malcolm saying, my brother's young, he runs his mouth, he could lose the game. There was nothing!
I know.
What was that about?
I was excited. I was excited. Well, I guess that's the point.
You know, when Jeff was like, "Oh, you know what's it like being here," and he was like, "We watched Survivor every episode, every season." I thought it was going to be revealed that Malcolm the entire time played it off like he wasn't a fan of the show or something, and that was a big reveal.
Because he's like, "You look like a colonel." I'm like, "Is he a colonel?"
There was nothing that I saw.
That's what I thought. Maybe he was in the armed forces. And he was lying the whole time, and then they're going to be, "Oh, you're a liar too." You know, I don't know what it was.
Even that wouldn't have affected the game. I don't think that much. I was expecting was it a Johnny Fairplay?
Yeah,
I was like a Johnny Fairplay moment.
Like,
and then nothing. And I think they wanted us to think that, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that at all. I was kind of a little confused. Like, what kind of tweezer was that?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like.
Did you say tweezer? I think you said tweezer. I'm pretty sure you said tweezer.
But even
I was thinking about Lisa's eyebrows.
Jeez. But even in the episode, Malcolm's sitting there on the boat.
I was thinking about Denise's bikini line.
Oh! We were all thinking it. We were all thinking it. Let's be honest.
The crowd. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's it.
And how do I segue out? How do I get out of this conversation? So.
Loved ones.
So, they all get some time with their loved ones. The 3 of them get to take their loved ones. Like we said, Lisa has a prayer circle. A little prayer.
With Scoopin'.
Yeah, with Scoopin' and their loved ones. And she's got her head back in the game, which is cool.
Yeah.
Which we see when they head into the immunity challenge, because right out the gate, okay, first of all, they have to go across a couple of balance beams. They're out in the water again, a lot of water challenges this season, which we all I think are a fan of. And they have to retrieve 3 buoys that are underwater. They have to take hooks and pull them up. And right out the gate, Lisa's in it. Which was surprising.
She was like the second one to jump in the water, and we were like, that is adorable.
She did look adorable. She can't swim to save her life, but
Denise was falling behind.
Yeah, and what was that?
I think that was strategy, perhaps. Maybe because she's always.
I don't see Denise throwing.
And she maybe can't balance.
At this point, like everyone's playing to win. I just don't see anybody.
Except for Abby, and I think that was strategy on her part because I think, and this is where I think she's trying to really oversell this false idol thing. She's going out of her way to say, like when somebody says to you, I have a fake immunity idol and I will play it.
Is that Brazilian?
Yeah, well, whatever. But it's so fake the way she says it every time. And then the way she's like, oh, I'm not going to try in this challenge. Where the week before she was busting her ass because she knew her head was on the chopping block. And Jeff kept calling her out. And she had all of her buoys and she's trying to like line them up on her shoulder and she's like adjusting them for a solid 30 seconds.
She looked good.
And she wasn't even making any attempt. And at first I was like, what on earth is she doing? But then I quickly realized she's trying to show them that she's so confident because she has an immunity idol that because she knew she didn't have a chance to win the
I disagree.
Us underestimating.
Oh, no.
I mean,
I disagree. I think
maybe.
If anything, it was to show that she's weak and that she will not be a competitor and let Carter shine. So then Carter would have more reason to get voted off.
I don't think so. I think that whether it's a logical strategy or not, I think in her mind she thought, look, I'll just play it cool so they think I've already got this in the bag.
For whatever reason, either your reason or her, she was doing something on purpose.
Yes.
By
She's
going slow and like, I'm shopping with my bags. They're falling. What? Oh no, what do I do?
I thought we were going to Bloomingdale's.
Oh.
No, I think she's the most underestimated player that's out there. Everyone thinks that she can't play, but she really is playing the game. You know,
kind of.
She's playing the game.
I mean, I think it's kind of brilliant coming up with a hidden immunity idol.
Definitely.
You played a hidden immunity idol in our season.
You mean a fake one?
A fake one. A fake hidden immunity idol. There's other players who've done it too. So I think that's smart. Like you know, you're next on the chopping block.
Or
what you got to do to survive.
It's smart to at least try something. Like, at least trying to do something. You know,
because she knows if she doesn't try, she's out.
You can't just you can't just sit back and go, well, I'll try nothing. I'll do whatever it takes, even if it looks stupid or it sounds stupid or whatever. For her, it's like, sure, I'll do what I can.
And she's selling it. I was really proud of her. Before they head off to tribal council, she actually went off into the woods and got her little her clue and put it in her bag and she's selling it.
She put a lot of
effort. She's overselling it a little bit in my opinion, but she's selling it.
I want to know though, like what we don't see, like how annoying is she? Because the other tribe members are saying a lot of times, like she's annoying, she's this, she's that. I mean, I didn't see a ton of that where she's really annoying the hell out of it, but I'd like to see those conversations where she's walking around like some, crazed lunatic and just saying, where's my food, or where can I'll sleep wherever I want, or get out of my way, or something.
I almost feel like, and maybe you guys can agree or disagree, I almost feel like, I think for me, the hardest part wouldn't be the physical stuff or the lack of food or the shelter or the lack of shelter. I think for me, the hardest part would be the social part. Because I'm great with people when I'm rested and when I can get away from them and those things. But to have one really annoying person out there, it'd be really hard for me to bite my tongue for 39 days.
Because you can't get away from them.
At all.
So
and I don't know how I'd be able to handle that. I don't know if I could do it.
Look at her
I
face.
lost my...
But I'm sure people lost
on
it
day
to you.
one. Day one, she's fired up with Alicia, telling her to shut up.
That's pretty understandable. I mean, she was, as a fan, I think she's one of the most horrible players in the history.
I would have said shut up with a machete in my hand.
Yeah,
I think I did.
One thing in the episode about Abby was we got the confessional with Denise saying, "It is not cultural. It is Abby, and it is the culture of Abby." I agree with Denise. We have had this debate back and forth, left and right. I don't think it's a cultural thing. I think it's definitely Abby is Abby, and that's who she is.
Well, I will say this.
Disagreeing, every single person, like Troyzan was saying, is commenting on how annoying can't stand it.
I've never argued that she's annoying.
Thing.
She's annoying as hell.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's cultural. Jeff Probst thinks it's cultural. However, tonight is the first night when I actually thought maybe it is actually a little bit of both, because when her mom came out, her mom could not have been sweeter. And I'm like, okay, well, where did she get that from? Maybe that is just an individual thing, because her mom doesn't act that way. And Abby, but when Abby was around her mom, though, she wasn't that way either.
True. It could be a little bit of both, because she didn't understand baggage at the end when they talked about baggage. She was like, baggage, what do you mean baggage?
Yeah.
So it had to be explained to her what baggage, what it actually meant. So that there is, I mean, I've dealt with
different cultures are different.
Girls from Colombia, Venezuela, South America. There is.
Of course you have.
Photography-wise.
Yeah. But they're fiery.
Calling it these days.
And sometimes the words aren't as strong, and they're strong for us, as an American, but for them it's not. There is, you get lost sometimes.
I agree that's about what they're understanding, but not how you treat people.
I understand that too. That does make sense to me. But I say it's almost like living in LA versus living in New York. If you don't, there is a difference between the two cities and the types of people that live in these cities. Right. And as somebody from LA, you might think that New Yorkers are just brash and just rude and crass, but having lived in both places, I see that they're actually very loving and very caring and open, and they view LA people as just very just cold and just kind of snooty,
flaky,
which is kind of true sometimes too, but there's always reasons that people act the way they act. I remember when I was in college, the first time I'd ever interacted with any Russian people. I had some Russian friends in college. I was terrified of them at first, because I'm like, the way they interact with each other, I'm just like, whoa.
Sounds like they're like yelling at each other.
Yeah, but it's love. Love is love. She is a little.
But you were saying, Troy, about as far as the cultural thing about when they were food reward, and she was explaining the food and how full she is. You were saying that that's how they are culturally. That's how they explain with a lot of there's no filter. There's no filter. And
and she realizes that in their culture you wouldn't be jealous if I say that. You'd be happy for me. So she just would be like that. That's just her personality. Like, it's not. I don't think she's trying to be
not here in America.
Yeah, I think she just
another culture
expects
just, humble.
everyone to be happy for her, and I'm satisfied with my food, and now I won't cook, and I'll do this. Is like, you guys should just understand that.
Because also you have to remember, like, Americans are very much into themselves. Like, our culture, we're very much into us and what makes us happy now. And other cultures, a lot of them are very sharing, and they will give you the last bit of food off their kitchen table, a shirt off their back.
It's a little bit more like family.
Yes,
it is.
Not all Americans are like that. Some subcultures within the country are.
True. I lived in Europe. It's totally like that.
Yeah.
Spanish, it's like about the family, and it's like if you're, it's not about me.
Yeah. So I mean. We agree to disagree.
Yes.
And yet, we agree to agree.
I know, it's good.
A little bit of both. Takes all kinds. You guys, I want to take a moment to thank all of our listeners on iTunes. You guys, how many downloads a week are we getting right now?
A week? Well, we're getting 3.5 million a day.
Wow.
So 25 million a week, roughly?
Roughly.
That's insane. Roughly. From over 75 different countries.
Yep.
So we want to thank you guys so much for listening to us. We know you guys are huge fans, as are we. And we want to remind you to take a moment to get on iTunes, comment. We will comment back. Rate us. Please give us 5 stars if you guys like what we're doing, and tell your friends about us. If you guys don't know about it already, there's an app for your iPhone called Podcasts with an S. I've got it on my phone. I think we all do. If you have your favorite shows here at AfterBuzz, because we cover a lot of shows, you can have your podcast automatically downloaded to your phone every single week. So whether you're, you like to listen to us when you're on the treadmill at the gym, or whenever it is that you listen to us, you'll make sure that we're there every single week, because I know you love listening to our voices. That was my deep voice. So thank you guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. We love our iTunes listeners.
Oh, they're so sweet. Great. Their comments too.
I did my hair tonight though for our YouTube watchers.
I've
worn a couple hats recently. Well. Yeah, your Boston Rob hat.
My Boston Rob hat.
You're such a super fan. What a nerd. Gosh. So let's talk about the rest of this immunity challenge. Okay. So after they get these buoys, they have to swim to shore then. And this is classic Survivor. They have to erect a pole by tying pieces of twigs essentially together with string,
tied up with
twine. Yeah, and they may have to make it long enough and hard enough to knock over the target, which is the goal, right? I mean, isn't that always the goal?
No pun intended.
But they have to knock over a target to release their flag. The first person to do so wins immunity.
Yes. There were a lot of flaccid sticks.
Also, isn't that always the case too?
Yeah, Carter's is a little crooked.
Carter was going right.
Just like his eyeballs. I'm just saying. Oh, poor Carter.
And Malcolm finally got stiff enough.
Unnecessary roughness.
That's a new one. I haven't heard that one yet. I like it. So, right out the gate, Lisa Welchel, first person, at least in the edit, first person with her pole erected. Looked like she was close, and I felt like all she'd really have to do is just reach a little further. It looked like she had it, and it looked like it was actually pretty strong.
And scooping was out of the gates too.
Yeah,
too.
And then they just went by the wayside.
Yeah.
They went bye-bye. And who ends up winning? The one person that Lisa didn't want to win.
The one person that, if they didn't win, we would have had maybe a dramatic episode.
Which we didn't.
Right.
Yeah. It was Malcolm.
Right.
Yeah. Malcolm, he's a...
But you can't hate him. You like him.
Yeah, he's a likable guy. And I feel like I would bet on him in just about any immunity challenge any season. He's one of those... He's like an Aussie. He's like...
But he's not.
But he's good.
This is his first win.
But he's up there always. He's always in the mix.
You're right. And if he plays again, if he ever... he's like, Ozzy, I think you're right.
Yeah, he is kind of an Aussie.
Like,
They've
everyone
kinda got the
wants
same...
him not to win because he's so damn good.
But because he's got one of those sort of energies.
He
has an Aussie sort of energy.
The track record, though, is Skupin and Carter are the top, and Denise are the top 3 in every challenge.
Is this the first challenge that actually
this is
he's
his
actually
first
won?
win, yes.
Let's not forget that Abby won immunity last week.
Yes, that's
Abby.
1 out of how many we've had?
That was rigged.
But look, Carter won. I know they're going to kill us. Carter's won 2 or 3. I can't remember right now. He's won 2 or 3 immunities.
He's so forgettable, though.
Skupin's won immunities. Denise has been up there. This is Malcolm's first
Can
one.
we,
So
just, can we just backtrack for 2 seconds now that you said Skupin and mention how Skupin's son went climbing into the tree to get the coconuts and then blood everywhere?
Yes.
How classic Skupin is that?
It runs in the family.
And his dad was so proud of him.
I know.
Yeah,
He's
he's
like, that's
like,
my boy.
Right. He screwed up a little bit. He didn't have a slice on his head.
Yeah.
Oh.
The best man I know. That's my boy.
I don't know what it is about Skupin. He just annoys me, and I cannot get into it.
Oh, he's adorable.
Can't
he's
get into it.
adorable.
Why don't you?
I don't know. I don't like him at all.
He's clumsy.
He's endearing.
He's endearing.
I miss Penner. I'm not a huge fan of
He's
Skupin.
like Tarzan.
I like Skupin.
I'm a Skupin fan. Yeah,
I think, were you a Skupin fan back in Australia 12 years ago?
I like Skupin.
No, back then I loved Elizabeth Hasselbeck before she
was
became a
aligned
crazy
with
Republican.
Who was aligned with Skupin? Elizabeth, Skupin, and Roger. They had like a final 3.
I thought she could take him to the finale and win against him. I
God.
liked her. I don't. Let me just clarify. I don't dislike him at all.
Yeah.
The problem is I don't have any feelings towards him, which means I don't care.
He's playing smart.
Yeah.
I mean, for a returning player, he's playing very smart to me.
Because he looks like a...
He's just kind of going along. I mean, like he's, I mean...
The whole numbnuts thing could be part of his game,
That's
too.
what I'm saying. I think he's doing... I don't know about numbnuts, but I really think he's playing that. Like, he's playing a little bit low.
They're not
He won one challenge, but I don't think he's going full...
Well, because there is a right way and a wrong way, I think, to play this game when you come back as a veteran playing against a bunch of rookies. And as we saw earlier in the season, Russell Swan went about it completely the wrong way.
Yeah,
he came too hard, too fast.
Right.
And Skupin didn't do that, and Penner didn't even do that for a while.
Right.
And then Penner lost his mind those last couple episodes. I don't know what happened.
So he tried to play it cool, and he's like, no, I don't want to make a commitment on the alliance, and that's what's totally screwed him up because,
That's
Lisa
amazing to me.
Oh, we went off
you
on
get
that.
a final 3 proposition.
like,
Whether you want it or not, you agree.
Just say
to
yes.
It.
Oh,
you
God,
just say
don't
yes
even
to
start
everything.
it.
Yes.
I don't.
Change my mind later.
I love Penner too. I adore Penner.
Blindside you later.
Oh, God.
I mean, I am curious. I'd like to ask him just point blank. Like, did you really think that it wasn't a good idea to be just offered a 3? Like, and being the player that you are, and you played this the 3rd time, why didn't you just say yes to it?
Yeah.
Well, maybe
I mean, has he
had
answered
an
that?
alliance
No.
with Carter and Abby.
No.
He's not that dumb.
No.
No, he knows better.
It's.
I don't know.
We were
You don't
saying
know by
last
the
week that
edit.
we think that he did it because he wanted to try and get to the end, saying I played this transparent, open, honest game. But when you're a returning member and you got to do what you got to do, make that deal, and then if you're going to change it a week later, do it. No one's going to.
I feel like he just lost steam.
Yeah,
he had to
he did
scramble
lose
for a
steam.
couple weeks to
I'm
really
sure
stay in
there's
the game.
reasons that we didn't see. I mean, he's a
Hopefully we'll
smart
find
enough
him
guy.
out, yeah.
I'm sure that he's got an answer that's like, listen, you didn't see this and you didn't see
Hopefully.
this, and this is exactly why I did.
Oh, I'm sure he has all kinds of answers.
He definitely wasn't a boring player to watch.
Oh no, I like Penner a lot this year.
His exit is great. He's whistling the theme song to Survivor as he goes out.
That was kind of creepy and kind of funny.
Yeah, creepy, but they're like, what's he whistling?
Yeah.
I had to listen to it again.
That's what makes me think he's kind of lost his mind a little bit. He's been out. He was out there those last few weeks. The last few episodes. I mean, I don't know. Poor
I
guy.
haven't seen the Ponderosa video for him. I heard it's good.
I gotta see
Someone was
that.
tweeting
Check
about
that
how
out.
good Penner's Ponderosa video was.
I never get online and look at
You
those.
should watch the Ponderosa video.
Ponderosa this year, their Ponderosa is cold, man. Those, I mean, they look like they're not.
Really?
Well, someone comes in, they barely greet him. It's like
no drinking.
Oh, there
no,
he is.
Oh yeah.
No singing.
It's no like, hey, you know.
it's gotta make it
emotionally cold.
fun.
I'm like, where do they send him? Where's
no,
it?
emotionally cold. Yeah, like it's just like.
Not fun.
Everybody that arrives, it's kind of like everyone's off in the corner to eat, or like, who's next?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, I think for me, everybody I'd want to hang out with is still in the game.
Yeah.
The rest of the people are kind of boring.
But
I think
still-
RC would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
I think she'd be kind of feisty and cool. But like Artist, boring.
Make it
Carter,
fun.
boring. What's this? Pete, boring. They're
Yeah.
just boring. Penner's probably fun.
Penner
I hang
for
out with
sure.
him.
I would
Over
party
it,
with him.
probably, you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just-
Penner's mixing drinks at Ponderosa. He's mixing up the drinks.
Yeah.
He's
They're
doing a
playing
little
games.
bartending.
He looks like he's getting him going a little bit. Get him a drink.
I've never met Penner. I'd
get
like
some
to meet him
stuff going.
actually.
I mean, I can't imagine being at Ponderosa from day one. You know, well, not day one, but
like RC.
Yeah, day 20.
Jonas loved it. That's like the most watched is Jonas eating and going through this whole food frenzy. Have you seen the Ponderosa video
well, you know
of
who's
Jonas?
close? The Matt Singh tribe is really close because they're all at Ponderosa from the very first 5 votes or whatever.
Like
They're all really close by now, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. So let's wrap this episode up. Let's talk about this tribal council before we find out who goes home. Although you guys already know since you just watched the episode.
I hope our viewers know by now.
But Abby again, she's playing that fake idol thing, and she's selling it.
I like it.
She has it all wrapped up too in her bag. Like, I am so ready to play this immunity.
But when it comes time to play it,
but you know what I love though? Here's the thing. Even though she didn't play it, maybe she'll come back next week and be like, I didn't play it because I knew you guys were going to vote Carter.
Yeah, because there's one more week.
And I still have it, so now Malcolm and I are both going to play our idols tonight.
Yeah, because she can still play it for one more week, correct?
Yeah, she could play it one more week, yeah.
She's going to play it. That's funny.
But I don't think at this point matters because now Abby's move is, I am the most important vote in this game. You either go to a 2-2 tie when I'm voted off, or you bring me to the final 3 and you have a guaranteed 1 out of 2 shot to win this game.
And I also think that not that I think she'd have a lot of sway on the jury if she did go back to Ponderosa, but I think that you don't hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned, is that the phrase? I don't know if I want to piss her off too much and have her go back and just start spreading lies and running your mouth, because you never know. If she could get in one person's head, that's all it takes, and this is how it was really going down, you guys, and I don't want that person on Ponderosa while I'm trying to win $1 million. So I think it's smarter to keep her around.
Well, the person who it's the smartest for is Lisa, because Abby has the biggest vendetta against Lisa. So if Lisa gets to the finals, Abby will not vote for Lisa.
You think so?
Yeah.
Not because over Denise?
After okay, sorry.
I mean, she hates Denise.
Definitely. But Lisa's number 2 because Lisa crossed her first, okay? So if Lisa wants to get there to the end with Abby, Abby's never going to vote for her on the jury. It's kind of like
Lisa just has to hope like hell that somehow she goes to the finale with Abby and with either Malcolm or Denise. Because
Scoop in.
No, she'll get his vote. She wants him on the jury.
She'll beat Scoopin.
But she wants him on the jury.
She'll never do that.
No.
She'll never vote.
Yeah, that's her
Scoopin
boy.
Out. No,
people get too scared.
No, God will strike her down. Lightning. Jesus will come flying out of the palm trees.
Well, we thought Jesus was going to be someone's loved one tonight, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, we thought. No, I said that. I think Jesus is going to come walking out to give Lisa a hug.
I'd love it with a buff on.
Yeah. Instead it was her brother who was 20 years younger and kind of attractive, might I add. He was a good-looking guy.
Yes. I definitely think that Carter was the right move to make tonight. You get the stronger athlete out, right, over Abby.
No other choice.
You know who it should have been tonight?
Who?
Denise.
That would have been a good play.
Should have gotten rid of Denise.
That would have been a
Keep
good
Carter
play.
and Abby to the end. Anybody can beat them. But
well, here's the problem: you lose Denise tonight, then that gives Malcolm, Carter, and Abby.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if
Scoopin
and Lisa would have got rid of Denise, then Malcolm instantly said, "Listen, he would have gone right. He's smart enough. He's way smart enough to say, listen, Abby, Carter, I'm gonna win next. You're coming with me.
And I have an idol.
And you're coming with me." Yeah. And that's what it would have happened.
Done deal.
You guys are smarter than me.
Game over.
Yeah. I didn't look at it that way.
So now it's when you make the move at 5. 5 is the crucial number to make the move.
Yeah. Big plays.
And I wonder how much they're thinking about that right now. I wonder how much Denise and Malcolm and how much Scoopin and Lisa are thinking that right now. Because they have to be looking at each other like now it's competition.
I think Scoopin is thinking pretty heavily about like what his move. I know he's going to keep Lisa, but I really feel like he's going like, I got to get rid of Malcolm. I'm smart enough. I've got this far on my second time around. I'm here to win. I'm sure he's there to win. He's not just there playing the game just to play to get to a certain point. And I feel like he's smart enough to say, okay.
See, I would like to get inside Lisa's head, actually inside of her head, because I don't think she would ever give a straight, honest answer. Right. I would like to know because it seems like there's a lot of luck involved in her game, and she's playing a genius game, but it seems more reactive. And she just makes choices quickly. I wonder how much of it, if any of it's actually premeditated, because watching her, it doesn't look like anything's premeditated at all.
It's like week to week.
Yes. Whereas Scoopin, you can tell, and when Penrose playing, you can tell they're always thinking, and Malcolm, they're always thinking ahead. And even Denise. Lisa, though, and if she is playing a reactive sort of game, I think, in my opinion, that's just as hard to do, if not harder, than having a strategy. Because she's going out there and she's basically learning how to play the game every single day. And she's making all the right choices somehow. It's crazy to me.
She's still playing the game.
Yes.
Some people fly under the radar, get to the end by not playing the game.
Yes.
But she's playing the game.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I love the show.
I mean, there always is, like everyone says or doesn't say, there is a small part of luck, whether it's 10% or 20% or whatever. It's just by pure luck that she happened to find Malcolm's idol in his clothes. That's not a strategy. She didn't say, "I'm going to the clothes to find an idol." That's not a strategy, you know.
And it's pure luck that she was not put on the Matsing tribe, because she could have very easily been the first one home.
There's a lot of things that happen. I mean, you know, Dana getting sick, that changes the game. That's bad luck for somebody, good luck for somebody else. So there's no strategy involved there. When someone goes out of the game, that changes. Or if they happen to switch up
but
tribes.
Dana gave up. She didn't get sick. She had a chance to
She
revive.
did get sick, and she gave up. Both. Yeah.
Sorry. How
So
to say it.
it's interesting though. That's the thing about Survivor, is Survivor really is this microcosm of the universe, of the world, of the circle of life. How things, when it's good for somebody, it's bad for somebody else, and vice versa. And things change so quickly. And I think that's probably key to playing this game. You have to go out there knowing that in any moment the game could be flipped.
Totally.
As much as you can watch an episode and think you know exactly what's going to happen next week, it always changes.
Right. But
So
you have to be adaptable.
Yeah,
Totally adaptable.
So really, the best players who've ever played, you'd have to go back and say, like, listen, I'm going to watch your season. How much luck did I see that you got, and how much strategy you got, and how far you got? Because you can say, like, well, it was lucky, this, luck, and then you got it to the end. You won. Were you really that good, or was it the person that just strategized all the way, made it to number 4?
That's the interesting thing about Survivor, is you can make an argument for 100 different types of ways to play the game, and everybody could be right and everybody could be wrong.
Right.
That's what's interesting, because you look at your season, had Colton not gone out when he did, who knows what would have happened?
Oh,
you know
it changes everything.
Absolutely.
Everything.
Sure does.
You were gone next.
No, it was supposed to be Alicia.
Alicia was going next. That's what they're saying. Yeah.
They were saying.
So who knows?
That tribe would have voted out the girl. Just they would have lost every. They wanted to lose every challenge. It would have merged and it might have merged at a different number. We merged at 12. That's a lot of people.
A huge merge.
Too much in my mind. I'm like, okay, I wanted 10 or 8. So that it changes. That changes. Breaking an egg on yourself. That's not strategy.
Giving up
But
immunity
Banana
and
was
letting the
losing
girls
so
have
much.
immunity.
Right. That's kind of strategy. That's not really luck. That's just.
You guys did make some bad choices on your season.
That part didn't bother me. I mean, Bill was going to go anyway.
It didn't bother me either.
So I was like, what's the difference whether he goes now or whether he goes next
I
week?
felt like, Bill, watching your season, I felt like you were one of the only men I felt on the season that came out there to win. Obviously, Kim from day one, I knew she was in it. She was just in it.
Yeah.
She was zoned in.
Yeah.
But I felt like so many of the guys on your tribe were just so. I'm like, what are you guys doing? I don't even know if it was a little bit. I'm like, come on, you guys.
I kind of felt that way, but you don't know till you get there, and when you finally make it on Survivor, and I tried for 11 years, I thought, okay, all 17 of these people, they know exactly what they're doing. They made it to Survivor. Everybody knows what they're doing.
Nope.
And you really don't know that until almost to the end, and even after the show's over. Kat had never hardly seen the game. Troyzan was playing. Not to win, he was playing to see his wife. So he's only playing to a certain episode. So,
and to make $500 to fix his brake pads or something.
And there was a lot of people out there that hadn't watched a lot of the game, or maybe one episode or one season. And I thought everybody knew everything. So it's hard to play
Except
with
for
people.
Kim Spraden.
Right.
Colton
so
Cumbie.
it's tough. Like when you think like everybody knows the game, and then you're playing with people like. Are just kind of like.
In all fairness, though, if you didn't pick up that Kat didn't know a lot about the game after an hour of being around her, then that's your fault, because she seems to be like I met her actually, but she seems like, especially on that show, she's just an airhead. Like there's something missing out there. She's a nice girl, and she learned to play the game, but she was obviously clueless from day one.
She did learn to play the game. Well, in the beginning she was.
Learned a lot of things too.
I think she really improved as time went on.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, way more. I mean, she's highly competitive.
Yeah.
Which was a
Physically.
plus for her.
Yeah.
I think that's a key just to getting on the show.
Yeah.
I feel like you
that's
have
how
to
Carter got on, was the physical capabilities.
Yeah. He's tough.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to me to see like how a season plays out, and I would just love. It's never going to happen, but I would love. There's certain seasons I would like to okay, all of you guys are back at the game. We're going to restart the game at day 1. See how it plays out this time.
The same players.
The same exact players.
See, I've said that before.
That'd be genius.
Well.
Because the thing is, like you have somebody like Sandra, they call her the greatest survivor of all time. She's won twice.
But then
she could be voted out first in any other season. It just happens.
What are you really getting at when you put the same exact cast? You're just going to get history being the most important key and component to that game, in terms of what happened the last time.
Well, how is that any different than a heroes versus villains season? There's history there.
Yeah, but those people never played together. If you guys went into the same exact cast, you know exactly who you'd want to go after. You know, and it's because of what happened the first time.
Well, sure. but I don't know. Maybe not, because we all know each other outside the game now. So it's like, really, would I go against somebody that you're
friends with?
Yeah, that I'm friends with now, or would I align myself? You know.
Yeah. And you look at players like Poverty, or you look at Boston Robin, people have seen them play the game, or even Russell to a degree. They've seen them, but yet going up against them, it's a different thing. You know Poverty, and then you know what type of game she plays every time, and then you play with her, and you let her get away with shit.
The thing you'd have to do with a season like that is to return everyone except the winner. Or maybe the second, the
top two.
The top two.
Why not?
Yeah.
Because the winner's gonna be automatically targeted. I mean.
Yeah, Kim coming back on. Like,
come on, everyone's. It's like
Sandra.
I'm just saying.
Poverty, she was a winner.
Yeah, but not with her same.
I get it. In your same cast.
If it was the same cast, if the exact same cast came back for whatever season, I'd say great. Just don't bring back the winner, or maybe the second place, because they're gonna get targeted. Maybe not. They won't go day 1,
eventually.
But they're going.
Yeah. I love all of our dream scenarios of what we'd love to see Survivor do. Well, hopefully we have a lot of seasons left, so they can maybe get there.
What about a season of all people who've been voted off first?
No, that's terrible.
I'd say buck naked Survivor, bro. That's like top
Fuzzy Square.
Fuzzy Square Survivor.
That is a good one.
Forever.
They do need a little more love in Survivor. We haven't seen a lot of it this season, right?
Yeah.
No.
So what would be your dream cast Survivor if you were to pick back like all the veterans?
Oh my God.
Like, who would it be, Justin?
Yeah, before we go into predictions, let's pick top guy, top girl of all time.
Of all time.
Oh my God, this is a tough question.
I've got mine ready.
Clearly, you got to pick Poverty as the top girl. You got to. I mean, in terms of females of the show, you got to pick her as one of them. And I would go even say, even though everyone disagrees, Sandra, you can't argue with an undefeated record.
You got 2 girls. Who's your guy?
Oh, in terms of guys?
Yes. Yeah. 1 girl, 1 guy.
Best player ever?
Now, who would you want to see back on the show?
To watch again.
Oh, come back to me. Who's your girl?
My girl's Poverty, because I love her, but I can't say her because you already picked her. So I would pick either Stephanie.
Oh, she's great.
I would say Stephanie. I love
her.
Stephanie.
To watch.
Double braids, yeah, Stephanie.
She's amazing.
And then as for a guy, who did I say? Tyson, I really thought was really enjoyable to watch, even though I think he's a dick and I can't stand him on the show. I really loved watching him, but I would say my number 1 guy to probably come back would probably have to be. Oh, that's a hard one. I would say Rupert, maybe.
Oh,
I love watching
Disagree.
him. Rupert and Shambo. Maybe that's my top 2.
There you go.
Wow. Troyzan, who would you pick?
To watch?
Watch again. 1 girl, 1 guy.
Oh, my God.
Just as a fan.
Just
as a fan.
Yeah. Can't be yourself.
No, I wouldn't.
I'd pick Troyzan.
Who would I pick? God, who's the I would pick something crazy to watch.
So hard.
Like Tarzan and...
And Lil, remember Lil?
Oh my God, yeah, no, I mean, it's like, no, I would have to, or maybe like some total atheist and like the craziest Christian. You know, that's probably what I would do.
Coach and who?
Yeah.
Coach, yeah.
You know, I can't, too many, my brain is
I know,
How about you,
so
Christina?
hard to think about.
I would get Troyzan. I would watch
You really
you
would?
again.
Wow.
And
we
have
play this
you
game every week. It's
play
yours,
with
says,
Cheyenne. Who didn't like Cheyenne?
Cheyenne?
Cheyenne.
She-Devil.
Yeah.
Love her.
We've got another super.
I know they
we've got
wanted me
another
to be
super
her.
fan in the room, though. I want to know what you think. Who would your pick? Top guy, top girl?
Top guy and top girl. I would want to see. I like your pick of Rupert because I like Rupert.
There you go.
And top girl.
So hard. There's so many.
I don't know. There's so many. Yeah, Christina. I would want to see what Chelsea could do from last year without Kim.
I like that, actually.
I want to see what, if she could do anything. Because I thought she was a good player, but she
was too much like Kim.
Right, yeah, exactly.
I think she could win another season if she weren't
I think she could win.
paired with her. I think the same thing. I like that.
I think going classic Survivor, I'd like to see Brian Heidick play in another time because he was one of the biggest manipulators, masterminds that actually played a hardcore, masterful mind game from start to finish in a boring season.
Yeah.
And he was hated and just like people didn't like him, but people loved him. I thought he was fantastic as one of the best winners.
I wouldn't mind seeing Richard Hatch coming back
again,
just because I would love to see. I would love to see how his ego handled the situation. And I would love to see how he would adapt to this game because Survivor Season 25 is so different from Survivor Season 21. I would like to see if he could still hang. Or what was it, Susan?
What?
She was Sue. Was it Sue? Season 1?
I think we've seen them. They haven't adapted.
She's
though,
crazy.
And the last time was like she didn't adapt.
She's nuts.
Yeah.
She's also probably 90 years old now.
No.
And on that note, we're going to go into predictions for next week. Justin, what do you think is going to happen next week's episode?
All right.
That's our creepy prediction music.
Whoa, that sounded like somebody snoring.
Our lights don't change in here? That makes me sad.
All right.
Studio B.
I'm going to keep going on my Lisa's going to win, and I now am thinking, hopefully, I don't know if this is what I think or what I hope will happen, is to ensure that they take Abby and then go after Denise and Malcolm. Even though I love Denise and Malcolm, I want to see some big moves made.
Okay, I think next week Malcolm wins immunity again. He gives his immunity idol to Denise, because why not? And I think they go. That makes me scared. I think they go for scooping. That makes me nervous because I really want to see Lisa scooping Abby in the finale, just because I want Lisa to win so bad. But I have a bad feeling that Malcolm wins and uses. Why wouldn't he use his immunity idol on Denise?
We'll see. What do you guys
we'll see.
I actually know, so I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, you've been reading blogs.
I'm not. I
Troyzan.
need to stop reading these blogs.
Next week is the last week he can play his idol.
Yes, so he's safe.
Okay, so I think he's going home anyway because I think he's going to be cocky enough to keep his idol in his pocket.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
That would be one of the greatest tragedies in the history of Survivor.
Wow.
It happens.
That's a bold. It has happened.
It does happen.
It has happened a lot.
Going into the finale though, I don't know.
But I could see him getting cocky with that Final Four alliance.
People do
Yeah.
it.
And here's the thing: it's almost the same mistake Penner made of not giving Lisa and Scoopin the credit of being actual players in the game. Penner did not think that after he turned down that deal that they would go make a deal with Denise and Malcolm. So if he truly believes in that four, he could think they're never going to turn me.
Crazy things out there. I mean, he's like, I wouldn't mind going home with this island in my pocket. You know, Kim didn't play hers.
Yeah.
No.
She went home with hers in her pocket.
Sell that on eBay.
That's crazy to me.
That's why she is
That's
probably one of
just
the best
crazy to me.
female players.
She is one of the best
She didn't
females.
even have to play it.
She's genius.
She's amazing.
She didn't have to use it. So.
But we also have to wait another week to see.
Exciting.
You guys, this is
2
my
more
last.
episodes.
This is my last episode, you guys. So I want to thank you guys for I'm going home a week early for the holidays to Ohio, and it just so happens that Survivor likes to run their last 2 episodes within a matter of a few days, and they both fall into the time frame that I'll be gone.
So you can watch it with your fam.
Yes, I will be watching it at home because I'm a huge fan. And I have to miss the live finale this year though, which sucks because I love going to that. It's a lot of fun. But you'll be there.
I will be there.
Yes.
Will you be hosting next season?
Yes, I hope to be back next season for season 26. I hear it's going to be a good one.
Fans love you.
I've been reading the blogs. I think it's going to be a big one.
You know that he writes all that stuff.
Yeah, that's all me. I've got so many different usernames. Please. So I want to thank you so much, Troyzan, for being here. You're on Twitter? Where can your fans find you?
I'm on Twitter. It's Troy_Zan. My website's TroyRobertson.com.
Fantastic.
You can buy a T-shirt on Cafe Press.
I like it.
/Troyzan, like Team Troyzan, or This Is My Island shirts.
Nice.
Don't F with me.
You came prepared.
Tater shirts. Whatever.
Christina, where are you at?
You can find me at Christina_Cha on Twitter, and also find me on Facebook.
Fantastic. And you, Justin?
Yep, Justin F. Walter on Twitter, and then Facebook.com/JustinWalterHost.
You can find me on Twitter at _AJ Gibson. You can also check out my website at ajgibson.tv. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please tune in next week for the second to last episode of Season 25, Survivor Philippines. Take care, you guys.
Woo! From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Oh my God.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.